Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
It is Love and Money Live.
It is also hump day.
It is Wednesday. Woohoo! We're so glad it is, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally great. Well, welcome to Wednesday. We are here to talk about this stuff.
Wow.
Money.
Didn't know we were doing a prop today.
I had a prop. I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of fun?
It is.
That's right, money.
It's very fun. Can I put it down, though? It's making me nervous. It's going to tip over.
Totally. Well, you know, people who are in the financial world, they get art that has to do with money.
Right.
That's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird. We have a lot of stuff around here that's like dollar bills in it and stuff
know.
like that. I don't know. I think it keeps you focused. Keeps you focused on what we're trying to do. Trying to save relationships and make you financially better.
Healthier and wealthier, right?
Right.
That's right.
You're a workout expert. You got those rubber bouncing balls all over your houses for core training.
So let's have a few dollar bills.
Yeah, that's big, though. That's made out of solid metal.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a weapon.
It really is.
All
Well,
right.
We're so glad you're here today. We're talking about a super serious, very, very important topic. If you'd like to join in, we'd love to hear from you. Any ideas that you have, any thoughts that you have. We love hearts. There we go, floating across the...
She always says that right in front of my face. Every Facebook Live.
That's right.
Yeah. See, I can't even do it. I don't have any rhythm, though.
You don't have much rhythm, do you think?
No.
Yeah. Well, we took dancing lessons once. That was creepy.
See, now everybody that loves dancing lessons just logged off Facebook. See,
It's true.
someone logged on and off.
That's
You heard
right.
that?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
got bags under my
all
eyes
right.
this week.
Yeah, you do, kind of, honey. Are you tired?
I don't feel tired.
Okay. All right. Well, we're here to talk about three very important things.
Important.
Ways to avoid something very important called financial infidelity.
Right.
Super important topic, especially when it comes to love and money. It can kill relationships. We are seeing financial infidelity kill relationships. Matter of fact, yesterday we were up at the Everyday Show. And the host, Kathy, was telling us about this lady. Oh, can you believe this story?
Was it the lady that cuts her hair?
No, does her teeth. So she's like a total victim.
Yeah,
and
she
this
can't even
lady-
say anything.
Say anything, like, at all. This lady's hands in her mouth, cleaning her teeth.
I don't think her hands were in her mouth. Probably the tools. Ew. All right, I'm going to tell the story. I'm taking it over.
Okay.
Anyways, with the tools in her mouth so Kathy can't say anything.
Okay.
This lady shares with Kathy that her husband had $100,000 in credit card debt that he had been hiding from her. And the way he was hiding it was he would like move it from one card to another card. With $100,000, he had to at least have had 3 cards. But he was just moving cards around all the time.
And that's why she couldn't tell that it was going on.
Couldn't tell, so he confessed it to her, and she freaked out. Which I don't blame her at all, because $100,000, the most I've ever seen in a relationship up to that point was about 40. It was about 37 and a half, but we'll round it to 40. But $100,000, that is some major, I think about the interest on that alone. You're probably talking at least $3,500 a month just on interest.
Yeah.
Maybe not that much, but at least $2,000. Wow.
Okay, so here's
That's
a question.
mortgage.
Would you leave your spouse if you found one of those?
Oh, I hope you wouldn't.
I hope not. I hope that we can recover from it. That's what we're going to talk about this month.
Yeah.
Is all about financial infidelities. And next week we're actually going to talk about 5 ways to rebuild after financial infidelity has happened. So anyway, let's dive in. But, you know, there was this interesting story, too, of this gal. It was actually right before Valentine's Day. And she found out that, and they had done so much to try to save. They had downsized. They went from, in California, from a 2-bedroom down to a studio. And they just they were saving. He had a bunch of, a school debt and things like that. So they were just working really hard to save. They had about $20 extra a week to be able to have some fun. So, you know, they were really, really trying. Turns out that he had opened these secret credit cards. And the thing that made her feel so bad was that it wasn't like he was spending just money on himself. I mean, he was also spending money on her. Like, some of the expenditures were like flowers for her. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, if you guys are trying to skimp, then he's coming home with flowers. What's going on? See, and here's the thing. I think sometimes we suspect financial infidelity is happening, but we don't want to admit it.
Right, I agree.
You know, don't you see?
I agree.
We see that. Here's some interesting statistics. 1/3 of people who have combined their finances with a significant other say they have hidden money in the past.
So 33% are actually confessing it, which probably means realistically it's 50%.
There we go. That's right.
I'm just saying.
I know.
And
1 in 5 couples who live together say they have spent $500 or more without telling their spouse. So what does this do to a relationship, honey? What does it do when you have this secrecy?
Well, I don't see a whole lot of difference between sexual infidelity and financial infidelity. I mean, I think the reality is finances are so close to us, and we've talked about this in the past. It's such a personal thing that when someone is going out of their way, especially if it's your spouse or your significant other, to hide it from you, that means your relationship has problems on all sorts of levels. And money is just the way that it's manifesting itself here. So I'm one of those people that says you can't, it's what's behind it. I mean, if you're making secret expenditures like this says that most people do, or 33% of all couples say that they have a secret stash of cash or a secret credit card. What's really the underlining? It's that you don't trust me with money. I don't trust you with money. I'm going to do what I want to do regardless of how you feel about how I spend my money. So I think financial infidelity really is probably the hardest thing on relationships next to sexual infidelity that we deal with.
I think you're absolutely right. Well, today we want to talk about 3 ways to avoid it.
Let's avoid it.
And let's avoid it. Let's not have it. Let's do it. Let's do it, baby. All right. So first of all, our first point is obviously be honest, but share all information. 100% transparency. Make a pact that you are going to be 100% transparent with your spouse. So one of the ways that we do this, and we found this is really helpful, is that if we're going to spend or want to spend over $200, we take a little picture with our camera, we text it to each other, and we say, hey, do you have any problem with this expenditure? And if the other person does, we put it on the table and we talk about, we go, it's not a no, it's just a not now. It means that the other person doesn't feel comfortable with that expenditure, and we really need to talk about it before we purchase it. We need to decide if it's a need or a want, and we need to make those, really good, healthy decisions. Sometimes it's like, sure, no problem. So it's really important to make that commitment to transparency. I thought that is so interesting, that stat of people spend $500 or more without telling their spouse. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
And it can really hurt. We have a couple that we know, and they had just gotten married, and she went out to the mail. This is before all of our online credit cards and things. And, she went to the mail and saw a credit card, how much credit card debt her spouse had before they were married. They hadn't talked about it. And it was around $60,000. And it hurt. She said it hurt her soul. Money impacts us in so many ways all the time. So thinking of little ways that whatever is good for your relationship, but that's what works for us. But really that transparency, and it shows respect. It shows respect to the other person.
All right, so number one, let's be honest and take a picture, 100% transparency. A lot of people ask, well, do we have to share checking accounts, or do we have to have everything combined?
In one account?
No, as long as you're transparent with it. If you have a lot of business owners like myself, I have 2 or 3 checking accounts. We have one for defined wealth. We have one personal. A lot. One for defined. I wish I had a lot of money to hide from you. One from defined wealth, one from the money couple, and our personal checking. We have 3 different accounts. But Beth can get on our Wells Fargo online and look at whatever she wants to, whenever she wants to. So just be honest. Okay, takes us to number 2.
Yeah.
You got to give your spenders, your risk takers, and your flyers a spending account.
Okay, before you get into details about this is all revolved around our money personalities.
Oh, right.
So if you don't know your money personalities, please go to our website at themoneycouple.com. Right there, click, free assessment, 10 minutes.
8 minutes.
Yeah, 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can find out your primary and, most importantly, your secondary money personality. But if you have in your primary or secondary these 3,
or your spouse or your significant other.
Okay. All right. So go ahead.
So if you're a spender, a risk taker, or a flyer, if you are one, or you are married to one, or you're in a serious relationship with one, you have to give them the ability to spend. Because a lot of times what we find with financial infidelity is not necessarily that they're trying to be totally dishonest or whatever, but they just feel like if one person is controlling the finances, they're like, give me a break. I can't spend on the stuff that's important to me, even if we have all the money in the world. Doesn't even matter on if you're making a lot or a little. So you have to give. If you don't want to force someone in to financial infidelity, we had a couple that came in, and he had discovered about a $15,000 credit card that she had. And so I sat down and I was going over their credit cards, and I was like, wait a minute, there's like Target There's like gas on this. And so I started asking her, what was this for? It was all for the kids. He was controlling the finances so much that she had this credit card just to get things that they needed to keep the family going and to keep the kids happy. I turned to him and said, this isn't her financial infidelity. This is all on you, buddy. Because first of all, she's going to divorce and leave you in the next 2 or 3 years if you don't lighten up with the money anyways. And the second thing is you're forcing her to commit financial infidelity by holding on to the finances so hard. They never met with me again based on that meeting, or us again based on that meeting. I have no doubt in my mind that if he didn't lighten up that they are divorced by now. But the reality is he was pushing her into financial infidelity. He thought he was coming in with her, and he thought we were going to jump all over her for having this secret credit card. We flipped it on him and said the reason she has this credit card is because of you. But the reality is if you're a spender, if you're a risk taker, or if you're a flyer, you have to have some flexibility in your budget to spend the way you love and want to spend.
Right.
So,
and that person who is the saver or security seeker, primary, secondarily in your relationship, you're not. You know what would be the greatest gift you could give your spouse is a spending account.
Yeah.
Because it would tell them that you trust them.
Yeah.
That you want them to be who they are and how they were made, and that you're not forcing them to try to be like you. You know, there are a lot of times people who have that saver, security seeker mentality, which are great. There's good things about that.
There's good and bad things about every money person.
Absolutely. But sometimes you come across super judgmental and kind of have this like parental role in the relationship. Like,
especially when it comes to money.
Right. I'm right. You're wrong. You need to behave. That kind of thing. And that is just going to kill your relationship, especially if you're not on the same page. So please, please, please save your relationship. That's what it's all about. We really want you to be able to do that. All right. So on to point number 3. Should I take this one?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Don't make honesty hurt for your spouse. And it kind of goes back to our last point. But sometimes, you know, if you make a commitment to be 100% honest, it shouldn't hurt you to be honest. But if, let's say, Scott was just held the purse strings so tight and I was going to confess to him some financial infidelity that I had done, if he gets all over me and he's just rats on me and gives me the silent treatment or yells or whatever your money fight style is, it'll hurt me. So don't make it be the spouse that is open, is loving, is accepting, is like, you know what, honey, is there anything that I did to make you feel like you needed to hide that from me? Let's work on this together. You know what, maybe we need to kind of increase that spending budget a little bit for you. You know, just make it more of a loving, warm relationship versus this adversarial thing, which is just killing our relationships. Guys, we want to save relationships. We want these divorces to stop. One of the main reasons we're getting these divorces is because people are arguing and bickering over money. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yep, absolutely. So those are the 3.
Yep.
Share info and be honest. 100% transparency. Number 2, you got to give your spenders, your risk takers, and your flyers, you have to give them some flexibility to spend money in the relationship. And third, don't make the honesty of your spouse a hurtful thing. It's okay to be open. It's great. We're all different. God made us perfect. And our money personalities are definitely part of that awesomeness that God did. So don't commit financial infidelity. Don't. And we all occasionally do it on accident, probably here and there, but don't let it ruin your relationship because it is the #1 relationship killer.
So we are really excited about all the things that we are pulling together for you in the next 2 weeks. We're going to be introducing to you brand new tools, exciting stuff. We are working way, way, way behind the scenes. And if you do need some coaching, please come to our website. We do have coaching available for you. But we are super excited to be with you each week at our Love and Money Live.
Absolutely.
And we will see you next week as we'll be talking about 5 ways to rebuild after financial infidelity has been done. Huge, huge, huge. All right, everybody. We just have a blessed week. We're so excited to be with you, and you made it happen today. So way to go. And as we always finish, make it happen.